Gemma Simon's voice carries the strength of lived experience, shaped by a journey that often meant walking a lonely path in Australian football. As a proud Gumbingear woman and former Matilda, she knows firsthand what it's like to grow through a system where her cultural identity was rarely reflected around her. From a young age, she had big dreams of making it to the top level. But when she looked around, she didn't see many others like her. Indigenous players were few and far between, especially in the pathways she had access to. That sense of isolation became part of the story. "I didn't really play a lot of soccer with other Indigenous kids," Simon says now, with quiet honesty. "There wasn't a lot within the pathways that I kind of came up in." For her, soccer meant stepping out of the comfort of home, family, and culture, and into a world where she often had to tone down parts of herself just to fit in. "I feel like I had to adjust from how I was at home around my family to then going and playing in teams that didn't have other Indigenous players." When she finally had the opportunity to play alongside other First Nations players, something shifted. It was powerful. It was healing. It felt like coming home. She didn't just feel like a footballer, she felt like herself. It gives you the opportunity to just be yourself in an environment that you might not have been able to be as comfortable in anywhere else. It was these rare, transformative moments that inspired her to become part of the change. Now, at 34, Simon is stepping into a leadership role that could transform the experience of the next generation. Alongside former Socceroo David Williams, she has been appointed head coach of Football Australia's Invitational 11 First Nations teams for girls and boys. The teams will compete in the Emerging Matildas and Emerging Socceroos Championships in July. But for Simon and Williams, this isn't just about the competition, it's about creating belonging. It's about Indigenous players walking into a space and knowing they're not alone. It's about the pride of identity meeting the passion for the game. It's about building the kind of environment that Simon never had. Across Australia, conversations around Indigenous representation in sport are gaining urgency. And the statistics are sobering. In the AFL, Indigenous participation is dropping. Just 63 Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander players are currently in the men's league, down from 87 in 2020. The 2023 national draft saw only one Indigenous player, Cody Anderson, selected. This isn't just a numbers game. It's a reflection of structural barriers that continue to block access and opportunity for Indigenous youth in elite sports. In rugby union, the history is just as stark. Only 15 First Nations players have ever pulled on the Wallabies jersey since 1899. Netball isn't faring much better. Today, just one contracted First Nations player, Lisa Mimi, a Waka Waka woman, competes in the Super Netball League. Donald Wallam, a proud Noongar woman and former Diamonds player, made waves in recent years. But now, she plays in New Zealand's premier netball competition, another missed opportunity to retain Indigenous excellence in Australia's top leagues. These statistics are symptoms of a deeper issue. They show how elite pathways often fail to nurture and protect First Nations players. But there is hope, and it's growing. In 2024, Netball Australia introduced the Black Swans, a First Nations national team now competing in the Pacific Netball Series. A team created not just for inclusion, but for empowerment. This is the direction more codes need to take, building dedicated pathways rooted in culture, pride, and community. For Simon, being part of this movement means everything. "We're all working for the same thing," she says, smiling. "It is really awesome to see the girls embrace their culture and be a part of it and be around other Indigenous players." Her voice softens as she shares a deeply personal moment. "I only last year played in my first Indigenous team, which is pretty special for me, even at my age." That moment, though late in her career, was powerful. It reminded her that identity, when celebrated, is a strength. And now, she's making sure young players don't have to wait as long for that feeling. Biripi girl Andy Chaseling, captain of last year's Invitational 11 girls side, understands what this means. For her, representing her culture on the national stage is more than pride, it's purpose. "I think it's really great how we can all come together from all over Australia," she says. "It's that shared identity that makes the team so strong. Because we've got that connection through our backgrounds, we just gel straight away and play the game we love." Connection becomes chemistry. Culture becomes confidence. And from that foundation, greatness grows. David Williams echoes that truth. "I'm proud to be part of an initiative that doesn't just talk about pathways but builds them." He's seen the raw talent, the hunger, the spark in young Indigenous athletes. Now, he's part of ensuring that spark becomes a flame. "I've seen the quality and potential in these young players. Now, it's about giving them the environment and the belief to thrive." This isn't about ticking boxes or running token programs. It's about rewriting the playbook, so that Indigenous kids know they're not just welcome in sport, they belong. These programs create more than athletes. They create community. They foster resilience. They pass the torch of cultural pride through generations. And the impact will last far beyond the season. Simon knows that, too. She sees the joy in the girls' eyes when they step onto the field together, wearing jerseys that reflect not just their teams, but their roots. She sees a new chapter being written. A chapter where no young Indigenous athlete ever has to feel alone again.